One of the last known photographs of JohnBenet Ramsey has sparked intense debate online, as many claim that a mysterious woman in the background bears a striking resemblance to Ghislaine Maxwell. This discovery has led to speculation and theories about a potential connection between the two figures, further deepening the mystery surrounding JohnBenet's tragic and unsolved case. The idea that Maxwell, known for her connections to powerful elites and her role in Epstein's activities, could be present in such a significant photograph has left many questioning whether there is more to the story than what has been publicly revealed. The photograph in question, widely circulated on social media and groups that investigate mysterious events and coincidences, appears to show JohnBenet smiling in the foreground, while in the background, a woman with Maxwell's distinctive features is partially visible. Her dark hair, facial structure, and demeanor have led many to believe that this is not just a coincidence, but a clue that has remained hidden in plain sight for decades. The image has reignited interest in the case, with people dissecting every detail to determine whether the woman is, in fact, Maxwell, and what her presence could mean. One of the most unsettling aspects of this theory is the possibility that JohnBenet's case could be connected to a larger network of influential figures. Some believe that if Maxwell was indeed present in JohnBenet's life, it could suggest that she was entangled in something far more sinister than what was originally suspected. Maxwell's known history and their ties to powerful individuals worldwide have led some to question whether JohnBenet's case was mishandled or intentionally covered up to protect certain people. Theories surrounding what happened to JohnBenet's have always been controversial, with speculation ranging from a botched ransom to more elaborate and disturbing scenarios. The alleged presence of Maxwell in this photograph adds yet another layer to the case, suggesting that it may not have been an isolated incident but part of something much larger. Those who support this theory argue that the connections between high-profile individuals and unsolved crimes are often overlooked or dismissed due to their implications. Skeptics, however, argue that the resemblance to Maxwell could be coincidental, with no solid proof that she was actually involved. They claim that the grainy quality of the photograph and the angle of the woman's face make it difficult to confirm her identity with certainty. Despite this, the idea that a figure as infamous as Maxwell could be linked to JohnBenet's case has been enough to fuel further investigation and discussion. The strange coincidences surrounding Edgar Allan Poe and why many believe he was a time traveler. Many people believe that Edgar Allan Poe was a time traveler, and they point to one of the strangest coincidences in literary history as evidence. In 1838, Poe published his only complete novel, the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket. The novel tells the harrowing story of 4 shipwrecked sailors who, after exhausting all their resources, make the desperate decision to commit cannibalism. They draw straws to determine who will be sacrificed, and the unlucky crew member is a cabin boy named Richard Parker. More than 40 years later, in 1884, a real-life shipwreck eerily mirrored Poe's story. The crew of the Mignonette, stranded at sea, killed and ate a cabin boy to survive. His name was also Richard Parker. The shocking similarity between Poe's novel and the real-life tragedy has led many to wonder how he could have possibly predicted such a specific event. It is one thing to write a fictional tale of shipwreck and survival, but to name the victim Richard Parker, the exact same name as the real-life cabin boy, defies logical explanation. Some have suggested that this is merely an extraordinary coincidence, but others argue that the odds of such an occurrence happening by chance are astronomically low. This has fueled speculation that Poe may have had knowledge of future events. Some believe he could have accessed information from the future, either through supernatural means or by physically traveling through time. Poe was known for his deep interest in the mysteries of life and death, and many of his works explore themes of the unknown. Could it be possible that he was not just writing fiction, but recounting events he had already witnessed? Further adding to this theory is the fact that Poe had an uncanny ability to describe scientific and technological advancements long before they became reality. The Unparalleled Adventure of One Hans Pfaall, released in 1835, describes a journey to the moon using a balloon at a time when space travel was an unimaginable concept. Some researchers have analyzed Poe's works in great detail, searching for hidden messages or additional clues that could suggest he possessed knowledge beyond his time. They argue that his ability to predict real-life events with such accuracy goes beyond mere coincidence. While mainstream historians dismiss these claims, saying that Poe was simply an imaginative and intelligent writer, the debate continues. The case of Richard Parker remains one of the most baffling coincidences in literary history. Whether it was an act of time travel, a supernatural glimpse into the future, or an unexplainable stroke of fate, Poe's eerie prediction ensures that his legacy will always be surrounded by mystery. The question remains, did Edgar Allan Poe know something the rest of us did not? This cave painting found in India is being hailed as the earliest depiction of a grey alien. A remarkable discovery in an ancient Indian cave system has stunned researchers and sparked widespread debate. A cave painting, estimated to be over 10,000 years old, depicts a humanoid figure with an elongated, slender body, an oversized head, and large, almond-shaped eyes, features that bear an uncanny resemblance to modern depictions of grey aliens. This mysterious artwork challenges conventional historical narratives and suggests that encounters with extraterrestrial beings may have been recorded by ancient civilizations far earlier than previously thought. The discovery was made by Dr. Bhagat and his team while exploring a remote cave system in India. As they examined the cave walls, they came across an astonishing painting that stood out from the rest. Unlike typical depictions of animals, human figures, or hunting scenes commonly found in prehistoric art, this figure appeared distinctly otherworldly. It had an unusual body shape, disproportionate facial features, and a mysterious presence that immediately caught the attention of the researchers. What makes this discovery even more compelling is that it aligns perfectly with descriptions of grey aliens, a type of extraterrestrial frequently reported in modern UFO sightings. The large head, thin body, and massive black eyes are characteristics that have been consistently described by individuals who claim to have encountered non-human entities. The resemblance between this ancient cave painting and contemporary reports of alien beings raises profound questions about humanity's past and our potential interactions with beings from beyond our world. The age of the painting, estimated to be at least 10,000 years old, adds another layer of mystery to the discovery. At a time when early humans were primarily focused on survival, hunting, and gathering, why would they create such an unusual image? Many ancient cave paintings depict scenes from daily life, religious rituals, or mythological figures. However, this particular artwork does not fit into any known cultural or religious representations from the era. Some experts argue that the artist must have seen something so extraordinary that they felt compelled to document it. If that is the case, what exactly did they witness? One of the most intriguing aspects of this discovery is the stark contrast in how history treats ancient artwork. Archaeologists and historians have long relied on cave paintings to understand early human experiences, from their hunting practices to their spiritual beliefs. Paintings of animals, human figures, and natural events are accepted as historical records of past life. However, when it comes to depictions that suggest extraterrestrial encounters, skepticism quickly arises. Many argue that it is irrational to accept prehistoric art as truth when it depicts animals or daily activities, but dismiss it as mythology or imagination when it portrays something resembling modern alien encounters. Some researchers believe that this cave painting could be the earliest recorded depiction of a grey alien. If true, it would suggest that humanity has had encounters with extraterrestrial beings for thousands of years. It also raises the possibility that ancient civilizations may have possessed knowledge about otherworldly visitors that has since been lost or deliberately erased from mainstream historical narratives. Legends and myths from various cultures around the world describe beings that descended from the sky, imparting wisdom, technology, or warnings to early humans. Could these stories be based on actual events that occurred in prehistory? This discovery has led many to reconsider the accounts of ancient peoples who described interactions with gods or celestial beings. In ancient Indian texts, such as the Vedas and Mahabharata, there are detailed descriptions of flying machines called vimanas, battles in the sky, and divine beings with extraordinary powers. Some researchers believe these stories may be encoded references to encounters with advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. The newly discovered cave painting could serve as additional evidence that such encounters were not merely myths, but actual events recorded by early humans. Another significant element of the cave painting is its potential connection to other ancient depictions of similar beings. Around the world, numerous prehistoric artworks bear striking similarities to this Indian cave painting. In Australia, Aboriginal rock art features figures with elongated heads and large eyes, often described as the Wandjina spirits. In Africa, ancient petroglyphs in the Sahara Desert depict humanoid figures with large heads, sometimes accompanied by disc-like objects hovering in the sky. In South America, cave paintings in the Amazon depict beings with bulbous heads and elongated limbs. The consistency in these depictions, despite being created by civilizations separated by vast distances and thousands of years, suggests that these encounters may not have been isolated events. Critics argue that these images could simply be artistic expressions or representations of shamanic visions induced by altered states of consciousness. However, this explanation fails to account for the precise and repeated characteristics observed in these ancient depictions. Why would civilizations from completely different regions, with no known contact with one another, create such similar images? The most logical explanation is that they were all documenting the same phenomenon, one that was real and profoundly impactful to those who witnessed it. The discovery of this 10,000-year-old cave painting in India challenges the conventional understanding of human history and raises important questions about our past. As researchers continue to study this painting, the implications of its existence grow increasingly profound. If humanity has been visited by extraterrestrial beings for thousands of years, it would mean that our history is far more complex than we have been led to believe. It would suggest that our ancestors were not only aware of these visitors, but sought to record their presence for future generations. The mysterious Tully Papyrus details one of the earliest accounts of a mass UFO sighting above ancient Egypt. The Tully Papyrus remains one of the most fascinating and controversial documents in the study of ancient UFO phenomena. Found in an antique shop in Cairo in 1933, and later copied rather than purchased by Alberto Tully, the document has been called one of the earliest recorded accounts of an unidentified flying object. The claims contained within it have sparked debates worldwide, with many drawing comparisons between its descriptions and modern-day UFO sightings. Despite its authenticity being questioned due to the numerous copies and retranslations over the years, the papyrus remains one of the most intriguing pieces of evidence for those who believe ancient civilizations may have encountered extraterrestrial visitors. The text of the Tully Papyrus, as translated by R. Cedric Leonard, describes an event in ancient Egypt during the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose III. According to the document, a mysterious fiery disk was spotted in the sky. It emitted a foul odor, had no recognizable features, and moved through the air with no apparent propulsion. The translated lines read that in the year 22 of the third month of winter, in the 6th hour of the day, it was found that a strange fiery disk was coming in the sky. It had no head, and the breath of its mouth emitted a foul odor. Its body was 1 rod in length and 1 rod in width. It had no voice. The description is eerily similar to modern-day UFO sightings, where witnesses often describe glowing, disc-shaped objects hovering in the sky. Many UFO encounters in recent history involve aircraft that seem to defy the laws of physics, emitting no sound, moving at incredible speeds, and occasionally producing unusual odors. The parallels between the Tully Papyrus and contemporary UFO reports have led some to suggest that extraterrestrial beings may have visited Earth thousands of years ago, and that ancient cultures, such as the Egyptians, recorded these encounters in their own way. As the translation continues, the papyrus describes how multiple fiery discs eventually filled the sky, terrifying those who witnessed them. The account goes on to say that Pharaoh Thutmose III ordered his scribes to document the event in the House of Life, the Egyptian equivalent of a historical archive. If true, this would suggest that ancient Egyptians took the event seriously and regarded it as significant enough to record in their official annals. The involvement of the pharaoh himself implies that this was not a simple natural phenomenon or a misidentified celestial event, but something extraordinary and unexplained. Skeptics argue that the Tully Papyrus is unreliable due to its complicated history. Since the original document was never purchased by Tully and only copied down before being recopied multiple times, the possibility of errors, embellishments, or even outright fabrication cannot be ruled out. Additionally, some scholars believe that the document may describe a meteorological event, such as a rare atmospheric phenomenon or a celestial event like a comet. However, even if the papyrus does reference a natural event, the descriptions are strikingly unusual, and the way it was recorded suggests that it was something completely unfamiliar to the ancient Egyptians. One of the most mysterious aspects of the Tully papyrus is that the original text is now lost. Following Alberto Tully's death, his collection of ancient texts reportedly passed into the hands of his family, and the original document has never resurfaced. What remains are transcriptions and translations by various scholars, some of whom support the UFO interpretation, while others dismiss it as a misinterpretation of an ancient religious or astronomical text. The disappearance of the original document has only added to the intrigue, with some speculating that it may have been deliberately hidden or destroyed to suppress its implications. Despite the doubts surrounding its authenticity, the Tully papyrus continues to be a cornerstone of ancient alien theories. Many believe that ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians, had contact with extraterrestrial beings, which could explain their sudden advancements in architecture, astronomy, and engineering. The Great Pyramids, for instance, remain one of the greatest mysteries of human civilization, with their precise construction and astronomical alignments leading some to speculate that they were built with knowledge far beyond what was available at the time. If ancient Egypt did experience encounters with otherworldly visitors, the Tully papyrus could be a surviving record of such an event. There are also those who argue that this papyrus is not an isolated case. Other ancient civilizations, including the Sumerians, Mayans, and Indians, have recorded similar sightings of flying objects, glowing discs, and other unexplained aerial phenomena. The ancient Indian Vedas, for example, contain descriptions of vimanas, flying chariots that closely resemble modern-day UFOs. The Sumerians, one of the oldest known civilizations, spoke of sky gods who some believe may have been extraterrestrial beings. These connections fuel the idea that Earth may have been visited by advanced civilizations in the distant past. If the Tully papyrus is indeed an authentic account of an ancient UFO sighting, its implications are profound. It would suggest that extraterrestrial encounters are not just a recent phenomenon, but something that has occurred throughout human history. It would challenge conventional historical narratives and force us to reconsider our understanding of ancient civilizations and their interactions with the unknown. The ongoing debate over the Tully papyrus reflects a broader discussion about humanity's place in the universe. If civilizations from thousands of years ago recorded encounters with unidentified flying objects, it suggests that the phenomenon is not a product of modern imagination, but a genuine and recurring aspect of human history. Whether or not the document is ever conclusively proven to be authentic, it continues to captivate those who believe that the answers to some of the greatest mysteries of the universe may be hidden within the past. Until the original document resurfaces, or more definitive evidence emerges, the Tully papyrus will remain one of the most mysterious and debated texts in history. Whether it is an ancient record of extraterrestrial contact, or simply an exaggerated account of a natural event, its contents continue to spark curiosity and fuel speculation about the true nature of our past. The possibility that ancient Egyptians witnessed something beyond human understanding is a concept that cannot be easily dismissed, and the papyrus remains an enduring mystery that challenges the limits of historical interpretation. The Hoover Dam coincidence. The construction of the Hoover Dam remains one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 20th century. However, buried within its history is a chilling coincidence that continues to intrigue those who hear it. The first and last deaths associated with the dam's construction were not only connected by blood, but also by an eerie twist of fate. On December 20th, 1922, J.G. Tierney became the first person to die in connection with the project when he drowned while surveying a location for the dam. 13 years later, on the exact same date, his son, Patrick Tierney, was the last recorded fatality during the construction. This bizarre occurrence has left many wondering whether fate played a mysterious role in their deaths. The story of the Tierney family and their tragic connection to the Hoover Dam begins with J.G. Tierney, a dedicated surveyor who was involved in the early planning stages of the massive project. His job was crucial in determining the best possible location for the dam, ensuring that the conditions were suitable for such a monumental construction. On December 20th, 1922, while conducting his work, He tragically drowned in the Colorado River. His passing marked the first loss of life in what would become a long and arduous undertaking to build the dam. As the years passed, the construction of the Hoover Dam progressed, requiring thousands of workers to endure harsh conditions, extreme heat, and dangerous tasks. With such a massive project, accidents and fatalities were inevitable, and over 100 lives were lost by the time the dam was completed. Among those who worked on the project was Patrick Tierney, JG's son, who followed in his father's footsteps by becoming involved in the construction. He was likely drawn to the project not only as a job opportunity, but also as a way to honor his father's work. Then, in an almost unbelievable turn of events, Patrick Tierney lost his life on December 20th, 1935, exactly 13 years to the day after his father's passing. His tragic passing marked the final recorded death related to the construction of the Hoover Dam. The fact that both father and son died in connection to the same project, on the same day, precisely 13 years apart, is a coincidence so strange that it defies explanation. Many have speculated about whether this was merely a tragic accident or if there was something more mysterious at play. Some believe that this eerie connection is an example of fate repeating itself, as if the father and son were somehow bound to the project in a way beyond human understanding. Others see it as a chilling reminder of the risks that came with building one of the world's most ambitious structures. Whatever the explanation, the Tierney's story remains one of the most haunting coincidences in history, ensuring that their names will forever be linked to the legend of the Hoover Dam. The mysterious coincidence of James Allen Lewis and James Allen Springer. The story of James Allen Lewis and James Allen Springer is one of the most extraordinary coincidences ever recorded. These identical twins, separated at birth and raised in different families, lived nearly identical lives despite never knowing each other. Their reunion at the age of 39 in 1979 not only shocked them, but also stunned the scientific community. The eerie similarities in their lives have left many wondering whether fate played a role in their parallel experiences, or if genetics alone can explain such a remarkable series of events. Born in 1940, the twins were adopted by different families in Ohio, each unaware of the other's existence. Even from the start, there was an unusual twist in their lives. Both adoptive families named their son James, and both boys grew up being called Jim. As they grew older, their lives took a series of uncanny turns that went far beyond what could be considered coincidence. Both men pursued careers in law enforcement, had a knack for mechanical drawing and carpentry, and exhibited strikingly similar habits, from their smoking and drinking preferences to the way they handled stress and made life choices. One of the most baffling aspects of their lives was their identical marital histories. Both Jim Lewis and Jim Springer married women named Linda as their first wives, only to later divorce them. They then each remarried women named Betty. The fact that both men not only chose the same names for their wives, but also followed the same pattern of marriage and divorce defies logical explanation. Their romantic lives seemed to mirror each other perfectly, as if they had been following the same script despite living in different households miles apart. Another astonishing similarity was their choice of names for their children. Both men had sons whom they named James Allen, with only a minor variation in spelling. Such a choice might have been expected if they had grown up together and shared a family tradition, but considering they were raised in entirely different environments, this connection is beyond extraordinary. It raises the question of whether names and preferences are somehow embedded in a person's genetic code, influencing decisions in ways we do not yet fully understand. Even their childhood pets followed the same eerie pattern. Both men had dogs named Toy when they were growing up, a detail so specific that it makes their story even harder to dismiss as mere coincidence. It is difficult to fathom how two individuals, without ever meeting, could make such identical choices, even down to the name of their childhood pets. This suggests that their genetic makeup may have played a more dominant role in shaping their behavior and decision-making processes than previously thought. The twins' incredible similarities extended to their personal preferences and habits. They both enjoyed woodworking, had a passion for racing cars, and vacationed at the same beach in Florida without knowing about each other's existence. Their mannerisms, speech patterns, and even the way they laughed were strikingly similar. When they were finally reunited, they immediately felt a deep connection, as though they had always known each other. Their story gained widespread attention, and researchers quickly became fascinated by their case. The twins participated in a scientific study on separated twins, which aimed to explore the relationship between genetics and environment in shaping human behavior. Their case provided compelling evidence for the influence of genetics, as their upbringing in different families had not altered their fundamental personalities, interests, or even life choices. The findings supported the idea that many aspects of a person's behavior and preferences are deeply rooted in their DNA, rather than being purely a product of their upbringing. The implications of their story extend beyond their personal lives. Their case has fueled discussions on the nature versus nurture debate, challenging long-held beliefs about the influence of environment on personality development. If two individuals could live almost identical lives despite being raised separately, then the role of genetics in shaping human behavior may be far greater than previously believed. This has led to further studies on identical twins who were separated at birth, with researchers aiming to uncover more about how much of human behavior is predetermined. The case of Jim Lewis and Jim Springer is one of the most compelling examples of synchronicity and unexplained connections in human history. Their bond, despite their separation, highlights the mysterious nature of human connection. It suggests that there may be unseen forces at work, guiding individuals towards certain decisions and experiences. Whether it is a case of destiny, genetics, or something beyond human comprehension, the lives of Jim Lewis and Jim Springer remain one of the most astonishing examples of inexplicable parallels between two people. Even after their reunion, they continue to share an unbreakable bond, as if the years of separation had not mattered at all. Their case remains one of the most frequently cited examples in psychological and genetic studies, as researchers continue to explore how such incredible coincidences could occur. The mystery of their identical lives serves as a reminder that there is still much about human nature and the universe that remains unexplored. The solar eclipse coincidence. On July 11, 1991, one of the most extraordinary UFO events in modern history took place over Mexico City. Thousands of people, gathered to witness a total solar eclipse, instead found themselves observing something far more mysterious, a large metallic disk hovering in the sky. What made this sighting so unique was not only the sheer number of witnesses, but also the fact that it was captured on video by multiple individuals and later broadcast on news channels across Mexico. The event sparked widespread interest and led to a government investigation, solidifying Mexico City as a hotbed of UFO activity ever since. The timing of the event has led many to speculate that the appearance of the UFOs was no coincidence. The July 11, 1991 eclipse had long been identified in ancient Mayan prophecy, specifically in the Dresden Codex, which refers to it as the sixth son of Quetzalcoatl. According to interpretations of the Codex, this eclipse would mark a period of great cosmic change and heightened awareness. Some researchers believe that the arrival of the unidentified flying objects was a fulfillment of this prophecy, as if the beings piloting them had intentionally chosen this moment to reveal themselves. The idea that extraterrestrials could be closely monitoring celestial events aligns with theories that suggest advanced civilizations have long been visiting Earth, carefully observing humanity and its connection to the cosmos. What makes the Mexico City UFO event particularly compelling is the overwhelming amount of evidence. Unlike many sightings that rely solely on eyewitness testimony, this event was documented on video from multiple angles. The footage consistently shows a reflective metallic disc hovering in the sky during the eclipse. Witnesses describe it as completely silent, moving in ways that defied conventional aircraft technology. With so many independent recordings of the same object, the credibility of the sighting becomes difficult to dismiss as a hoax or misidentification of a natural phenomenon. Following the sighting, the Mexican government launched an inquiry into the event, but no official explanation was ever provided. Some attempted to suggest that the object was merely a weather balloon or an optical illusion caused by the eclipse, but these theories fail to account for the clear, structured appearance of the craft and the fact that it remained visible even after the eclipse had ended. Moreover, the event did not happen in isolation. Since 1991, Mexico City has continued to experience an increasing number of UFO sightings, making it one of the most active locations in the world for unexplained aerial phenomena. The implications of this sighting are profound. If the Dresden Codex truly predicted the event, it raises questions about the ancient Maya civilization and their knowledge of extraterrestrial beings. Some theorists believe that the Maya had direct contact with advanced visitors who may have influenced their culture, astronomy, and technological achievements. The 1991 sighting, occurring on the exact date referenced in the ancient calendar, suggests that the connection between extraterrestrials and humanity may have been understood by ancient civilizations long before modern times. Adding to the mystery, in 2010, a story emerged online suggesting that the United States had been actively covering up the full extent of the Mexico City UFO event. According to these reports, US intelligence agencies were closely monitoring the situation and may have obtained classified information regarding the unidentified craft. Some claim that efforts were made to suppress international media coverage, limiting global awareness of the incident. This would not be the first time that governments have been accused of withholding information on UFOs. Decades of secrecy surrounding extraterrestrial encounters suggest a pattern of concealment designed to prevent public panic or protect undisclosed technology. The Mexico City UFO sighting continues to be one of the most compelling pieces of evidence in the study of extraterrestrial visitation. The combination of mass eyewitness testimony, video recordings, historical prophecy, and ongoing government secrecy paints a picture that is difficult to ignore. In the years since the sighting, interest in UFOs over Mexico has only grown. Researchers have documented continued sightings, many of which bear similarities to the 1991 event, shining metallic discs appearing during significant astronomical events. Whether these objects are attempting to communicate with humanity, simply observing, or playing a role in a larger cosmic plan remains unknown. However, what is certain is that the events of July 11, 1991 marked a turning point in UFO research, providing one of the clearest and most well-documented cases of unexplained aerial phenomena in modern history. The connection between ancient knowledge and modern sightings raises questions that extend beyond conventional science. If the Mayan prophecies were correct in predicting the arrival of UFOs during the eclipse, what else might they have understood about the nature of the universe? The sighting over Mexico City remains an unsolved mystery, one that challenges mainstream narratives about life beyond Earth. Whether the object seen that day was an alien spacecraft, an advanced technological probe, or something even more mysterious, its presence during the eclipse suggests an intelligence that was fully aware of its timing and significance. If extraterrestrial life is indeed monitoring Earth, then the 1991 event serves as one of the most significant moments in human history, one where the line between myth and reality blurred, leaving behind a trail of questions that are still waiting to be answered. The mystery of Violet Jessop. Violet Jessop's life is one of the most extraordinary stories of survival in maritime history. A stewardess and nurse, she lived through the sinking of both the Titanic and its sister ship, the Britannic, and even experienced an accident on a third ship, the Olympic. Despite these near-death encounters, she continued working at sea well into her 60s, traveling across the world before eventually settling in Suffolk, England. Her incredible resilience and calmness under pressure earned her the nickname Miss Unsinkable, making her story one of the most fascinating accounts of survival ever recorded. Born on October 2, 1887, in Argentina to Irish parents, Violet Constance Jessop was the eldest of 9 children. She survived a difficult childhood, contracting tuberculosis at a young age, an illness that doctors predicted would be fatal. She miraculously recovered, a testament to the remarkable resilience that would define her entire life. After the death of her father, her family moved to England, where she took on the responsibility of helping to support her mother and younger siblings. At just 21 years old, she found work as a stewardess for the White Star Line, one of the most prestigious shipping companies of the time. Her first notable experience at sea was aboard the RMS Olympic, the largest luxury liner of its time and a sister ship to the Titanic. In September 1911, the Olympic collided with the British warship HMS Hawke, causing significant damage to both vessels. Although the Olympic was able to return to port without sinking, the incident was a terrifying preview of what was to come. Despite this harrowing experience, Jessop remained undeterred and continued her career at sea. In 1912, Violet Jessop found herself aboard the ill-fated RMS Titanic, She was working as a first-class stewardess, serving some of the wealthiest and most influential passengers in the world. On the night of April 14, 1912, the unthinkable happened. The Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic and began to sink. As chaos unfolded, Jessup was ordered to assist in getting women and children into lifeboats. Eventually, she was instructed to board Lifeboat 16 to set an example for reluctant passengers. As she later recalled in her memoirs, a baby was handed to her as she climbed into the lifeboat. She held the child throughout the night until they were rescued by the RMS Carpathia. Surviving the Titanic disaster was a life-altering experience, but it did not deter Jessup from continuing her work at sea. During World War I, she served as a nurse with the British Red Cross and was assigned to the HMHS Britannic, another of Titanic's sister ships, which had been converted into a hospital ship. In November 1916, the Britannic was sailing in the Aegean Sea when it struck a mine and began sinking rapidly. Jessup once again found herself in a desperate fight for survival. She jumped into the water, but was nearly killed when the ship's propellers began pulling lifeboats under. She suffered a head injury, but managed to swim to safety. Out of the 3 great Olympic-class ships built, only the Olympic survived her full career, while the Titanic and Britannic met tragic fates, both with Jessup aboard. Despite surviving 2 of the worst maritime disasters in history, Jessup continued working on ships for many years. She traveled around the world, experiencing the beauty and dangers of the sea firsthand. Her final voyage came in the 1950s, after which she retired to a quiet life in Suffolk, England. Even in retirement, she remained a captivating storyteller, sharing her experiences with friends and family. One of the most mysterious aspects of her life came years after the Titanic disaster, when she received a phone call from an unknown woman. The caller claimed to be the baby she had rescued from Lifeboat 16, thanking her for saving her life. The eerie nature of this call left Jessup stunned, as she had never publicly spoken about the baby she had held that night. Jessup passed away in 1971 at the age of 83, leaving behind an incredible legacy of survival and perseverance. Her memoirs, published posthumously, provided a first-hand account of the disasters she experienced, giving the world a rare glimpse into what it was like to live through such unimaginable events. She never considered herself a heroine, but her story is one of extraordinary courage and resilience. Violet Jessup's story continues to fascinate historians and maritime enthusiasts to this day. She remains an emblem of strength and survival, a woman who faced death multiple times and emerged unscathed. While others may have been haunted by such experiences, she continued her work, never allowing fear to dictate her life. She truly lived up to her nickname, Miss Unsinkable, proving that even in the face of tragedy, resilience and courage can prevail. The mysterious Amam Longo. Hidden within the lush rainforests and breathtaking landscapes of the Philippines, a legendary creature known as the Amam Longo has long intrigued both locals and visitors. This mysterious being, often described as a humanoid ape or monkey-like figure, is said to inhabit the remote and uncharted regions of the archipelago, leaving behind a trail of fascination and fear. Also referred to as the Kapre or Agta, the Amam Longo is deeply woven into Philippine folklore and mythology. Its origins date back to pre-colonial times when oral traditions and storytelling were the primary means of preserving cultural knowledge. Passed down through generations, tales of the Amam Longo have evolved over the centuries, growing in complexity and influence. Typically described as a towering, hairy, ape-like creature, the Amam Longo is said to stand over 7 feet tall. Its large, glowing red eyes add to its menacing presence, while its immense strength and agility allow it to move effortlessly through dense forests and rugged terrain. Numerous eyewitness accounts have surfaced, particularly in the provinces of Capiz, Antique, and Iloilo, where local farmers and residents claim to have glimpsed the creature lurking in the shadows or watching from the foliage as they tend to their crops late at night. These alleged encounters have fueled both curiosity and fear, reinforcing the widespread belief in the creature's existence. The Amam Longo holds a prominent place in Philippine culture, embodying the country's rich tradition of storytelling and belief in supernatural beings. Many Filipinos grew up hearing cautionary tales about the Amam Longo from their elders, fostering both wonder and wariness toward the mysteries of the natural world. Some researchers believe that the legend of the Amam Longo may have originated as an attempt to explain strange occurrences within the dense forests, unexplained noises, missing livestock, or sudden disappearances. Others suggest that these stories may have been inspired by encounters with large primates or indigenous wildlife unfamiliar to early settlers. Similar tales of humanoid ape-like creatures exist across cultures worldwide. While descriptions and characteristics may vary, the common theme of elusive supernatural beings remains consistent. The parallels between the Amam Longo and other cryptids highlight humanity's shared fascination with the unknown and the mysteries lurking beyond human comprehension. As modernization and urbanization spread throughout the Philippines, traditional legends like the Amam Longo face challenges in maintaining their cultural significance. The rise of scientific understanding and skepticism has led some to dismiss such folklore as mere myth. However, the Amam Longo continues to thrive as a cultural symbol, preserved through festivals, literature, and local art. Whether viewed as a real entity or a fascinating piece of folklore, the legend of the Amam Longo endures, reminding people of the mysteries that still exist within the world's most untouched wilderness.